It's the Black Real Estate Dialogue. Tune in. Tune in. Tune in. Tune in.
Out of town investors, man, out of state, out of the country, they would come in and buy, oh, there are 50 properties, we want all 50. Or there are
Wow.
100, we want all of them. And so deals were drying up. On top of that, there are a lot more people locally kind of caught wind of it, and it was just a lot more competition in that space.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get any more deals because the way it works is they'll list a property, say they're listed for $5,000, right? Um, but if there are multiple offers, like say I come in and say, hey, I want to purchase this, and you come in and say you want to purchase this, and then five other people want to purchase it, then we all have to go to a bid off between all of us, and it'll go to the highest bidder.
Yeah.
So I was having that happen to me a lot. Something would get listed for $5,000, it'll get driven up to like 40,000 or something
Wow.
like that. Because with these properties, once you win the bid, like you got 30 days to pay it. Like
Yeah.
it's not you can't go to a bank and say, hey, I want to borrow $40,000. Like you have to have the money.
Right.
And so all those deals kind of dried up. So we didn't do anything for we didn't do anything for like 2 years.
Yeah.
We cash flowed those properties, which we sold the one that we had partnered with someone on,
Mm-hmm.
but we still had those three that we were cash flowing those. And I just kind of didn't do anything, man. I was kind of discouraged. I didn't, I wasn't educating myself around how to get financing,
Mm-hmm.
how to get these deals, because during that time where I wasn't doing anything, man, there were deals galore. Like it were deals because I was looking all the time. I just, I didn't know where to get the money to get deals, and
Mm-hmm.
so I was just losing out on a bunch of deals. So the pandemic was that was the blessing, man. That was a blessing in disguise for me.
Talk to us about that.
Yeah, man. When the pandemic happened, I kind of I was at home more, didn't have to go to the office. Um, I was educating myself more. I was doing a little more networking with folks, and finding out a few different strategies. And man, since the pandemic, we got 10 doors now,
Wow.
and all of those, that's all since the pandemic. We had those three since the pandemic, man. We've got 6 or 7 units since then, and it's just all about. It was just educating myself, man, and taking the time to, if I really want to do this, there people are doing deals. Like, how
Yeah.
are they doing deals? Like, how are they getting deals? And so instead of just feeling sorry for myself, like, man, I can't find any deals like I had anticipated,
Yeah.
what other route can I take? So that's what I did, man. The pandemic was a blessing in disguise, man, for sure. Yep.
Amazing. Amazing. It's interesting. So, um, talk to us about how you're able to finally get over that hump and just figure out a way to make deals work, to the tune of adding 7 doors. Was there certain strategies
Yeah.
that you found that it clicked and you were able to kind of just execute?
Yeah, man. So yeah, a few things. So honestly, so one of your past guests, Henry Washington, he put me on a few things around small banks, small local banks. So one of the things I did during the pandemic, since I didn't have to go to the office, I had a bunch of time. I called around a bunch of local banks. Hey, I want to talk to the manager of commercial lending. I'm a real estate investor. Just want to talk to them about what type of products you offer. Tell you a little bit about me, what I'm trying to do. And so I just took some meetings at several banks doing that, figuring out what banks could do what financing they had out there, really what was available, what I could get, what type of deals they like to see, like what type of deal would they give me money for.
Yeah.
And so I was doing that. I got a couple of friends that are into wholesaling. I got a couple of strategies from them around just finding off market deals, stuff like that. There's some cold calling, which I hate cold calling, but it has worked out, a time or two, cold calling. Um, Another strategy was I met a guy. He has a podcast. I met him, and he's local here. He taught me about what he called terms deals,
Mhm.
where an owner might be in distress. They may have a mortgage. They may be about to foreclose, and you can kind of do like a mortgage reassignment. Like the bank will reassign the loan to you, and you really won't have to put much of any money out of pocket. Just
Yeah.
different strategies, man. Just educating myself around that stuff, and all of that stuff worked. All that stuff. I'm not telling you that I'm getting deals every day, but
Yeah.
I mean, everything I just described to you, all that stuff worked. And another thing which has been big is hard money lending. What
Mhm.
they call hard money. Hard money is it's negative. It sounds like a negative term, like hard money. And when I was always, when it was mentioned to me, it always had kind of a negative connotation.
Mhm.
But the more I learned about it, it's it definitely helps, because what I was finding, I was trying to get deals, and just deals through the MLS stuff that was listed out there. I was always getting beat out by a cash buyer. And so I'm thinking, like, man, how do all these people just have $50,000 cash or whatever
Yeah.
cash? And so what I started finding out is like, well, they don't really have cash. They're really using hard money, but they
Yeah.
can close really quick. So the seller kind of, you can tell the seller, hey, this is a cash buyer. We can close it in a week, or we can close it in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And so once I was I found that out, I kind of connected with some lenders here, and told them what I was doing. And I brought them a deal, and they were like, man, this is how much money I can give you. It was that simple. I was like, hey, this is the deal I got on the table. I'm about to lose it because this guy wants to close a lot faster than the bank. It was a good deal. The bank was going to fund it, but they were like, yeah, we can close it in 30 days is the best we can do.
Yeah.
This guy wanted to close like quick.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I'm about to lose this deal. So, I called the guy and I said, hey, here's a deal I have. I think the purchase price was like 75,000. The comps were like 150. The rehab was like 30, I estimated. And he was like, man, this is what I can give you. I can give you the total purchase, and I can give you some of the rehab. And I was like, what? I was like, really? He's like, yeah, we can close on it this day. I was like, man, this is a game
Wow.
changer.
Are you looking for a community of like-minded individuals and access to experts in real estate?
Yeah,
Are you interested in real estate but need more support and guidance?
you know who it is.
The Black Real Estate Dialogue presents the Real Estate Investing Community.
I'm back.
No matter how much or how little real estate experience you have, we've created a community for you because your perspective is important. All right, tell me, where's the number one place where you can do Q&A with experienced guest speakers 2 times per month? How about unlimited access to past guest speakers' recordings? What about a private Slack channel to engage in daily discussion with everybody in the community to share resources and support each other? Head on over to blackrealestatedialogue.com. That's blackrealestatedialogue.com. It's the real estate investing community presented by the Black Real Estate Dialogue. Come join us today.
The thing is, most people, when they get into real estate, they see the first tenant or the second tenant, or they see someone apply. And just because they have the potential of money there, they'll accept anyone. I was like, no, I would have let the property keep sitting. Because one thing I learned from, listening and reading was that having a headache tenant is a lot worse than having a vacant property. So I would gladly pay my mortgage for a month or 2 months or 3 or 4 months if I have to, if that means waiting to get a good tenant. So for me, I screened the heck out of these people. And so I got really great tenants my first go around. And they, paid on time every time, never had any issues. The only things that happened was like, it was an older couple. So the older lady, she kind of like fell a few times on the property, and like, she actually like cracked her head open, one time on my driveway, and like ambulance had to come. It's like a whole situation. And that happened, like she probably fell and bust her head like 3 or 4 times on this property. And it was just crazy because I was just kind of like, I hope she doesn't try to like say, I'm negligent or something like that on, for my property. But really, she was just like, I think she had like some balance issues or something like that. So she was just having, physical health issues that was like causing her to fall. But other than that, no issues whatsoever. And it's still to this day, I have had amazing tenants in all of my properties, never had a missed rent payment, never had a, tenant not, paying, never had a tenant destroy anything, never had anything bad happen, because I took the screening very, very seriously. I'll have an empty property before I put a full in the property. So that was, being a first time landlord could be scary, but I'm telling you, when you had a knowledge and you equipped with that knowledge about what to be looking for, it makes it a lot easier, man. I'm telling you.
Definitely. Love it. Love it. So it sounds like you learned a whole lot and were pretty prepared for the first deal. So how did your real estate investment evolve from that point? Like what happened next?
Yeah. So originally my goal was to, when I graduated college and I said I wanted financial freedom by age 20, I said, cool, I just want to get to $10,000 a month in passive cash flow. So, okay, that was really my first goal was I'm just going to get house hack one house every single year. Because, you just got to live in the property, then move out every year. And then, eventually you can accumulate a portfolio of properties, within, 5 to 10 years, a good amount of properties, small multifamily properties. You can have a good amount of units, enough to definitely quit your job and, live a certain way. But it got to a point, was like, after like year 1, I was like, man, okay, I'll probably cash flow maybe like $250 a unit off of this house. So maybe $500 positive cash flow after all bills. I would need a lot of houses I would probably need maybe just 10 houses, maybe 10 duplexes to be able to like, leave my job, live decently. But I was like, I don't want to live decently. I want to live great. So I said, cool, I need like 10,000. 10,000 is a little better. So at that point, I said, how can I get $10,000 a month of cash flow? So I know, just based off of a rule of thumb and my experience, that I say one door can cash flow generally 200. We can, back then, it's not the case now, but in 2018, it was, so one door could cash flow $250 a month. So I know in order for me to get 10,000, I would need 50 doors. So it got to a point where I said, cool, if I want 50 doors, how would that look? It would be 25 duplexes, it'd be 50 single family houses, it'd be, a mixture of duplexes and triplexes, quadplexes, or it could be a apartment complex, right? So I said, honestly, the best thing, I would rather have an apartment complex over having 25 houses or 25 multifamily properties or 50 houses. Because economies of scale, once you hit a certain amount of units, things become more efficient, right? Just based on the financial aspects, right? And then also, obviously, with property management, all your units under one roof versus having 50 units all over the 7th largest city in the country. That's a lot of logistics. I'm gonna have multiple different property managers. I would rather have one business under one roof. So I want 50 units. So I said, my goal now is to get apartment complex. That's what I said really like in 2019. So I said, in order to do that, there's a couple ways I can do that. I know really there's some creative financing ways to buy apartments, but generally speaking, you're gonna need some sort of cash. It doesn't need to be your cash, but you're gonna need cash. And that's why I know you can do deals with none of your own money. It's not that you can't buy real estate without money. Or it's not that how does it go? You can buy real estate without any of your money, or it might have to be someone else's money though. So I said, cool, I'll probably need like $1 million down or something like that. So I said, how can I get $1 million? It's either I'm gonna work my job and save $1 million, or I'm gonna, use real estate to get to $1 million. So I said, I can flip houses. And so flipping houses is what became the next step. So essentially what I did was I worked backwards from that. So I said, I need 50 units. In order to get 50 units, that's apartment complex, I need $1 million to put down, probably roughly. In order to get $1 million, I probably need to flip, 10 to 20 houses, and have, a good amount of profit off of each of those. So I said, now my goal has become, I just need to flip these houses to get to that point. So that's kind of the reason I stopped buying like small multifamilies completely and pretty much started flipping houses. And so I flipped, pretty close to, I think like 7 or 8 properties since 2019. And so that kind of just became the strategy in that regard. Now I'm not really focused on so much on knowing I need to flip to get that $1 million, because I know about syndication. I know about, raising money, because I've raised so much money for the flips that I know, I can actually raise this money for the apartment complex instead of and just cut the middleman out essentially. So now that's kind of so we're still flipping, but mainly it's like, also looking at is like, if a good apartment complex deal comes around, then we'll be ready to pull the trigger on that as well. So that's kind of where we're at right now with that.
Hi everyone, Sam here from the Black Real Estate Dialogue. Make sure to hit that notification bell and that subscribe button, and to visit us at blackrealestatedialogue.com.